What's up, Lantern fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, the co-host of the Emerald Echo podcast, here with a look at one of my latest collecting pickups, and that is Green Lantern Volume 2, number 29, the first appearance of Black Hand. So I keep finding outstanding deals on old Green Lantern comics. This one is in really good condition. I do think it would grade high if I ever submitted it. Of course, featuring a key villain in the Green Lantern mythos, but nonetheless, the seller told me there hadn't been a lot of interest, so I put in an offer and we came to terms. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the bag and board for the first time and let you experience it with me. I want to make a point that before I did this video, I thoroughly washed my hands. There's two schools of thought on handling old comics. Some people say you should wear rubber gloves, but the conventional wisdom is kind of turned over time to say that you just need really clean hands. So I would definitely recommend you doing that before you handle any old comic. Make sure that your hands are clean. One of the things that I was anxious to get a look at was the back cover. And I've got to say, it looks pretty good. The color is bright. There's still gloss to it. Just a little bit of yellowing around the edges, but nothing major. Yeah, that certainly looks pretty good. Gently now. Let's get a look at what is inside here. Now, I am handling this with the most gentle care. One of the things I asked about was if both staples were still attached, and they are. And here's your little piece of history right here. Green Lantern, number 29, June 1964. I'm really holding a piece of history here. So this is William Hand's original origin. He talks about his plan of collecting residual Green Lantern energy to eventually turn it against Hal Jordan. By the way, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that's not how radiation works. But nonetheless, it's the Silver Age, so we'll let that slide. Here is Black Hand using the device, or trying to use the device, to send Hal Jordan to another dimension. Hal's able to immobilize the device halfway through, and so only half of him vanishes. And I just love wacky stories like this. So here we see Black Hand's original motivation. Now, like a lot of Green Lantern fans, I prefer the more modern take, the weird character who's obsessed with death and, who's a Black Lantern. But, I really always saw the appeal of this character too. The fact that all of this starts, his rivalry with Green Lantern, started because of a rivalry with his brothers. You can see that here he confronts Joe, David, and Peter, the Other Hand brothers, and he's basically just trying to show them up. And here we see Black Hand using what would eventually become known as the Cosmic Divining Rod. And of course, that would play a key role in Blackest Night. It was retconned as well, but this is the first time we ever see that here in the DC universe, and honestly, that's very exciting. And another thing I love about comics is the old school dialogue. Something like, "I've shown you that half a Green Lantern is better than none. Bah!" And I certainly don't want to overlook the significance of this. What you see here is a high-res image from one of my digital copies. This is a fourth wall breaking appearance from none other than Gil Kane, the co-creator of Hal Jordan. So before I return this to the bag and board, I want to take a look at the details of the cover. See just a little bit of rounding off on this corner over here. I think that's the most obvious imperfection. Slight discoloration right here. For the most part, what I'm seeing, though, is good gloss on the cover. There's no marks or anything like that. It's not missing any serious pieces at all. Some very tiny spine ticks along the way here. Got some very tiny printing dots right here. Those aren't something that came about after the fact, so I'm okay with that. Edge of the cover is really nice. Again, the color looks really good. Like I said, both staples are attached. I made sure to open it very gingerly to make sure that was the case, and they are. So I'm very happy with this pickup. If you're interested in reading this story without purchasing an original copy, you do have a few different options. Number one, there is the Green Lantern Omnibus Volume 2. This collects issues number 22 through 45 of Volume 2, which of course includes number 29. I like these a lot. I like Omnibus Editions. However, the retail on this is $75. As you can see, it's a really thick book. You may find a used copy for less. There are also some trade paperbacks available from DC Comics that collect this story. You can also find it on DC Infinite. That's www.dcuniverseinfinite.com. And there is a massive library available to you if you decide to subscribe to that. So I would recommend that if you want to read a story like this, or you just want to delve into some old comics for a great value. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'll be back to the internet with more comic book related content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.